Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Tonight we're going to take a look at the ITRunner DLC. This is a DLC that's been out for quite a while for the farm sim. In fact, it was the first one that was released. It's been available available for almost a year now. I don't think it offers anything crazy innovative into the game. Basically, it gives you a lot of the same trailers that you already have. So you have a log trailer. You have the exact same trailer, but without the extra forks, making it a what they call a bale trailer. You can load bales onto this one. I would imagine probably square bales. The round bales are going to roll all over the place. You have this slurry tanker. Basically, this is a storage unit for slurry. So you fill it up, and then you can set it out in the field. Kind of the same idea. We'll take a look in the menu as, let's see, as this Garant FRC. However, the slurry container for the ITRunner is extravagantly more expensive, almost, well, over double the cost. And the capacity is way lower. So you have 15,000 capacity on the ITRunner slurry container. The FRC has a 55,000 capacity. So this guy is a lot smaller. However, this is more portable. The problem with the Garant that I find, or Garant, by Cot or Coty or whatever, is that it gets really heavy when you fill it up, and it's almost impossible to move it once it's full. Your trucks just can't. Even the biggest tractors get almost flipped off their wheels. So it's not an easy thing to move around. This is kind of the same idea, but in a more mobile fashion. But anyway, so there's an area where the ITRunner is just a bad deal. However, if you buy one ITRunner trailer, these trailers all cost a little bit less than their counterparts. So, like, the skip trailer has a smaller capacity than the AgriLiner, but it's also $4,000 less. This chaff container is pretty cool. This one's $30,000 less than the one that's in game. It has this, once again, smaller capacity, but it's a lot less expensive. This is what you use to move chaff around. I think you can also move cut grass with it, but you're mostly going to be using chaff from a silage harvester, one of the like the Krone Big X or the New Holland FR 380, where you're foraging corn or foraging grass. You're going to put it into this, though I don't think those forage harvesters will be able to pull this trailer, so it'd have to be corn. You hire a worker and then you run alongside with a tractor. Here we have a grain container, just basically another tipper, just like that first skip tipper. We have a manure spreader, and we'll take a look at that guy. I want to see in particular the price differences here. So if we look at the normal manure spreaders, this is a $52,000 spreader with a 24,000 liter capacity. So it's kind of in between these two, and the price is in between them also. So I guess it's not a bad deal, except for when you have to factor in the fact that the ITRunner itself costs $55,000. It makes it more expensive. You have to buy a lot of these trailers for this to start making economical sense. If you're using all of these trailers over the course of, maybe if you have 2 or 3 of these and 2 of these, I don't know why you'd have more than one aside from if you're using them for storage, but if you were to buy multiples of these trailers, then the ITRunner might be a good deal. But as far as expenses go, it's an expensive way to do things in the game. It's not really a cost savings benefit. However, it's a unique device, and I think that is what makes it kind of stand out. And I could see using it on my farm just because it's cool. It's one of those technology things that farmers get that, I don't know that a lot of people would be. Actually, it looks like the garbage tippers where they dump the back off. But I don't think you're going to, I don't know. It costs a lot of money, in my opinion, to do this, to get the same or less results than what the in-game stuff already has. So that's one of the things going against this DLC. However, and like I said, it took me a year before I bought it. And I really wasn't excited about it, but I wanted it for my channel. So here it is. Now, you've noticed that one of the things I did like about the DLC is that all of these units come in any color you want. So the Farm Tech manure spreader has to be these colors. And this the Bergman has to be the Bergman brand colors, but all the rest of them I painted blue to match the New Holland. So I'm going to do a couple shout outs right now. First of all, shout out to Jack Weinreber. He wanted a shout out. There you go, buddy. Right in the middle of a review is a shout out. And then also, one of my viewers, Jade Storm, has a New Holland actually on their farm. They are using a T7 270. I thought that was pretty cool that they actually use this tractor. So here's a salute to you. There's a New Holland T7 270 model, 270 horsepower model. It's going to be pulling our ITRunner today along with these trailers. So let's go ahead and get the ITRunner functioning. Oh, that was weird. My sound cut out. So we're going to go ahead and pull forward. And we're going to grab the Bergman. Oh, we could slow time down too. I forgot to do that. And we'll look at our menu. You're going to have some different options. So X is going to be extend the arm. And it's a little awkward here. I would not be parking these here, but we're going to put the arm out. And I've never done this before, so I just got this DLC tonight. You can also see that I painted the ITRunner itself blue. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you pull up next to the trailer that you want to grab. And we can Q attach. There we go. And then we can press X again to load the container. You can see there it's dragging the container along the ground. And it's lifting it up and putting it on the back of the ITRunner. How cool is that? So it's kind of a neat device. So let's go ahead and fill this guy up. And you can see where, unfortunately, because of the size of the ITRunner, you are going to need a fairly large tractor to pull this. But most of the trailers that this is replacing are large tractor trailers anyway. So this New Holland's the right size for this. Let's go ahead and grab our FR850 forage harvester. And we'll grab the header. We'll do the red header. So we're going to hop into this dude. And we're going to go grab our header. So you'll see where this comes in handy. Wee-haw! We'll hire a worker, and we'll hop back in our T7 270. And I'm going to back out a little bit on the camera here. Whoa, my game was glitching. I don't know if you saw that, but that threw me off there. I overcompensated. I think it's 10 kilometers an hour, but I could be wrong. Hang on, I'm trying to get my cruise control down. There we go. So now we can look around and enjoy the look of the ITRunner. So there we have it in motion. I don't know what just happened there, but for some reason my guy jumped out of the tractor. Come on, buddy. Come on. Yeah, so it's a pretty neat mod. Like I said, it's I don't think it's the most cost-effective way to do the trailers in the game, because really, honestly, how many... You can only use one trailer at a time, so... Unless you buy multiple ITRunner units, but you have to pretty much own all the containers to start saving money, or at least making it economical. I just don't see it being the best way to do, you know, trailers. But at the same time, it's a cool device. So we're going to fill this guy up all the way. Pretty neat stuff. All right, so we are full up. Well, 98%, but we're just going to go ahead and pull ahead here. So now we take this down to our, you know, if you're going to do cows, you can take it down to this silo and dump it off. Or if you're going to do the biogas, You can take it over to the biogas plant and dump it off, but we're going to just do... Oh, there's already silage in there. I can't do that. So we'll have to go dump this at the biogas plant. One of the nice things is we can just kind of leave this there. That's kind of a benefit, I guess. We can dump it off, and then if we have other things to do, we can just leave the Bergman there. But then again, you could just leave the regular Bergman there, too. I don't see, aside from being cool, I don't... Mater's yelling. Hey, Mater, I'm trying to record, buddy. I don't see this being a major benefit in the game, you know, like I said, except for that it's cool. But I don't, like I said, I don't really see it. It's definitely not something that you need to have for the game to make it different, you know. It's not like a new set of cool tractors or a new map or, you know. It's basically just a neat way to do the same trailers that you already have. So it's, you know, it's cool, but it's not a necessity. And it definitely is not economically feasible either. But anyway, that is what it is. So we're going to dump this guy off. I would say we probably need to move out a bit and then X. Now you should be able to move the container before you detach it. So if you, like if we find out that I'm not far enough back here, we can dump it. Oh, look, it even pivots. That makes it a little harder to back up straight, but well, that's cool. So we can just do that and then we can just detach it. Oops, no, not that. No, weird. Okay, how do I get the container done? Oh, okay, I have to select it. It's considered two separate parts now. There we go, and it's detached. Pretty neat stuff, honestly. But once again, I don't see it being like a huge benefit to the game. So if you're not, you know, gung-ho to get this DLC, it's definitely not something that you need to have. But it is a cool piece of farming equipment, and it's a little unique in how it works. As I'm doing this, I'm just thinking about the economics of this. I don't even see... Like, if you had a starter farm, you couldn't even afford to buy this stuff. It's just so expensive. You know, $55,000 to get just the base with no trailer attachment. I can't really see... Aside from maybe that logging trailer is interesting to me. Because the logging trailer has an open back, which would make you able to do some logging things that you can't do with the smaller trailer, but it still wouldn't give you any benefits with over the Flegel large trailer with the dolly. I can't see that being more economical. We're just going to shovel some crap into here to see how it does. So this is the skip trailer. The skip trailer is probably a good trailer for doing like front loader activity. It's what you would see on a construction site. You know, and so we can use our tractor to load these in. I parked it in a pretty bad spot. I should have parked it parallel. This thing's really tall. Gotta put my arms up all the way, which the tractor, of course, doesn't like. Starts tipping around, even though in real life this is a monster tractor. I don't think that little bucket loader empty would make the tractor flip around like that, but Giants physics. All right, let's put this trailer in a better spot here so it's a little bit easier to use. I know in real life, or in the game, you wouldn't do this. You just go back and use the conveyor belt, but I'm just, for poops and giggles, I don't really have anything else I can shovel in here right now aside from maybe silage. So we're just putting potatoes in here by hand just to fill it up and see how it does. You could take your taters to market in the skip loader. This 18,000 capacity. I should only have to fill it about 10 times. Still has that funky, you can't put the bucket down into the top of the trailer. See, it's like this Invisa shield that does not let you put your bucket down into the trailer, which in real life you would. Oops. Sorry about that. Anyway, I think you get the idea. So you can fill them up like you normally would, though it is a little bit higher, so you got to watch. This is a pretty tall tractor, and I'm still, just barely getting above it, so maybe a front loader. This still has that funky thing where the potatoes go out underneath. A lot of the trailers have that. I don't want to say it's a bug, it's just a graphical. It's the way that they did it so that as it goes through, it actually pours out underneath the tractor or the trailer. So I guess we can start talking about, is this worth it? I think it's a neat idea, but really, now this is the first DLC that they released, and since then they've come out with some pretty cool DLCs, including that forage harvester that I was using, the JCB pack, and now at the end of next week they're going to be releasing the Gold Edition, which comes with a bunch of new tractors and a new map, and so there's a lot of other DLCs that are available for this game that are much better of an investment than the ITRunner kit. The only reason I bought it was because I can. But I don't see you having to have this on the farm, and in fact that it's actually kind of a it's not a good investment for your farm, aside from it gives you some cool different equipment, but it doesn't really save you much money financially on your farm because the parts are so expensive. As far as like that initial cost, the $55,000 for that base trailer, that's pretty dang expensive. Now, one of the things that I did find, though, like I said, that I thought was cool is that you can paint it any color that you want, and most of the trailers actually allow you to paint them different colors, and I do like that. I am, of course, an artiste, being a photographer, and I like being able to choose my own colors. I don't know that I would really go with blue for the ITRunner itself. Red might look really cool, and then you can pick your own colors for lots of the different trailers. That's pretty cool stuff. I like the fact that you can do that, but like I said, the product itself, man, I love the farm sim. I love supporting them. But like I said, I don't think that this DLC is really, there's not a whole lot there. It's just some more tippers that you already have. So I guess in the long run, it probably is not a worthwhile investment. But it's still cool. And I probably will end up using it on one of my farms somewhere because it's kind of neat to be able to just the whole function of putting them down and picking them up. And I don't know. I would think even in real life, I don't think who would buy this system. Most farmers don't have a ton of extra money, and I would think that they would look at that expense and go, well, I can get a trailer that's bigger. I don't know. I don't know how it works in real life, but I'd be surprised if anybody even buys this product in real life. It's probably one of those things that they made and then people just haven't, I don't know if people have jumped on it or not, but it seems to me like it's just not a viable technology. It seems like a waste of money, and I don't know, but I guess maybe from an ecology standpoint, you're not wasting, you only need one trailer. You don't have to be, maybe like, if you think about tires and stuff like that, you've only got to buy one set of tires for one trailer. You don't have to get you don't have to keep all of your trailers tires, because I know even here at my house, I don't have a farm. I just have a normal house, but we heat our house with wood, and I have a little tractor, a little lawn tractor, and a little trailer. And every couple of years, I have to replace all the tires on the tractor, and I got to replace the tires on my little trailer. Well, look at that. It's got a flasher on the back. That's cool. And I have to buy, it's about $100 to put new tires on my little trailer. So they're like $40 or $50 a pop to have them put them on for me. If I do it myself, they're probably a lot cheaper, like $20, but per tire. But still, it's a there is an expense that goes with, oh, look, all these bales that I have available. We can put some on a cart. We'll try that. We'll do that next. But there is an added expense of tires for every unit that you have on your farm, for every trailer that you have, or every, grain trailer, every, manure spreader. You have tires that you have to worry about. And over a year or two, you probably would save money just having one trailer that you have to maintain, and then just having tops that go on it. So I could see that being a financial benefit on a real farm. In the game, that's not simulated, but maybe the cost is a little cheaper to maintain. I doubt it, though, in this game. That's pretty cool. I like the way it dumps out. New dump animation for a different kind of trailer. I hope you guys are enjoying this review. I am not a fast-paced or quick reviewer. I might try to be as thorough as possible when I go through stuff so you guys can see how things operate and what they look like. So I will catch you back at the farm with the next trailer. We are going to drop the skip trailer off in our garage. Now I will say it's kind of neat too. Another thing that I've noticed that's kind of cool is that you can just leave the ITRunner attached to whatever tractor you're running. So it becomes like a set. Which a good thing I painted it to match my New Holland tractor because oops, no. Oh, that's cool. You can stop at mid-animation. That's nice. So if you screw up like I just did, then we can drop it and move on to the next item. Alright, I will see you up at the shop. Now, if we watch, when I pull this trailer up on, you'll notice that the... no, it still stays 2. I wonder if you can... You can't detach it while it's on. Look at that. It gives you the red, don't do this. I just wanted to see if it would allow me to detach it. Pick up a pitchfork. Not a pitchfork, a pallet fork. Alright, so we are down here to get our pallets. You can also load this up with bales. It's actually a bale trailer, I think is what the name was officially. But we're going to use it to transport some pallets here up to the sheep, up to the wool factory or the sweater shop. Didn't get that one on there quite right, did I? It's having a spaz attack. It's gonna flip off any second now. Oh good, it landed right side up. I wish you could adjust the fork distance, make them a little closer together or a little further apart as needed. But I guess that works. So this looks like it can hold about 3 pallets. Not stellar or anything, but three pallets it is. Happens to work out just right because I have 3 pallets here. And I wonder if you could put these... it looks like you probably could fit 2 of them side by side if you wanted to get really fancy. But with the physics in this game, that could also end up in a massive disaster. But we'll try it. Let's see what we can do here. Man, those sheep are going crazy. They're like, meh, meh, meh. Let's see here what we're doing. Oh yeah, we can do 2 fairly easily, actually. Well, except for getting it off the trailer or off the forks. It's not working so. Oh my gosh, come on. Really? There we go. Okay. There, not bad. So you could really fit 6 of these, or maybe even 8 on there. It is coming off a little bit on the side, though, but... Nice driving, Arthur. Oh. No. No. Come on. Oh. I am so bad with the pitchforks. Oh my gosh, I said it again. The pallet fork. The Euro pallets, special high-grade reusable pallets. Unlike America, where we just break them down and burn them. In Europe, they're actually responsible with their pallets. Though, you know, at least it is a renewable resource. Trees they grow again. As long as you don't chop too many down at once. See, that's going to be a problem. As always is in the game, the perspective thing is a little funky, so now I'm going to have to go push these guys back on, and then we'll be ready to take these up to the sheep place. This tractor should have enough horsepower to get up the hill. We'll go up the hill. Come on, push it on there. Oop. Oop. That should be good. Okay. And we're still good on the other side. Yeah, it looks all looks good. It's a little bit off, but it's not perfect, but so you could really leave this down here, and when 6 are ready. Now the question is, do I dare? What happens if I do this? Can I extend this while those are on there? I can. Look, and they don't move. So theoretically, you could just set this down here and fill this up, and then when it's time to come pick it up, you could come pick it up later, you know. Just like the garbage collectors. That's kind of neat. You could even do that with the hay bales, too. You could just set it down and set hay bales on there and then pick that up. So I like that. That's kind of a cool feature. You could just leave these kind of parked around and use a couple of them and fill them up, and then, you know, later on come back with the ITRunner and collect them. It's an expensive way to do it, but it's kind of a cool... Should probably slow down going around these corners. Looks like the stuff stays on pretty good, though. I know that they've fixed or made the trailers a little more sticky than they originally were, so things don't slide off as easily. And that seems to be working with this, so that's a good thing to test out. I'm glad we tried that. All right, so I will catch you up at the top here. Oh, did it again. See, and I can't turn the recording off now. Come on, you stupid keyboard. What the heck? Ever since I upgraded to Windows 10, my keyboard has been doing weird stuff. Where it just shuts off, and I got new batteries in it and everything, and it just turns off, and it's off, and I'm like, what is going on with my keyboard? It's not working. And then I have to take a battery out and put it back in, and then it'll work. It's really dumb. All right, so we're already up here that I've talked my way through the whole thing because of a keyboard malfunction. But yeah, I like this trailer. This is kind of a cool... This one is making me feel like this is more worthwhile, so... Alright, so I will catch up. Well, we'll sell these and... Yeehaw. You should... Hopefully it's low enough that we can just drive over. But if not, we can always set the trailer down there. And that gives me an idea with the logs. So we will do... we're going to test out each of these trailers a little bit. Now, I don't think I can do the manure wagon because I don't think I have any manure, but I'll check it out. So we'll be back. We shall return. Arthur's 2015 Farming Simulator review of the ITRunner was brought to you tonight by Jack Weinreber and the Jade Storm 87. Thank you for your support. All right, we now rejoin our regularly scheduled programming for a trial of the ITRunner grain trailer. This is just your standard tipper. Looks like it's just under the spout of this New Holland Yellow Bull. So I would be careful with what harvester you use this with. I have a feeling that the smaller New Holland, and possibly even the Case, would not be able to get its spigot over the top. I mean, that's really close. Because this trailer sits on that base, it actually, is kind of a... obviously, I'm using a header that's too big on this harvester. Though supposedly the Yellow Bull can pull it, but it's a 90-75. But anyway, that base raises up the trailer significantly. It makes it a lot higher than normal. So you have to have a pretty tall harvester, it looks like, to get that in there. I'm also a little concerned, though the header is large, that I'm having to pull so close to the header as I'm unloading it. Of course, with my amazing crack driving skills here, I'm not using the cruise control. Yeah, gotta get close. Once again, you can paint this tipper any color that you want. I just happen to choose blue to match my tractor, but in hindsight, I kind of would have liked a different color. Just playing around. But it's cool that you can do that. I like the fact that you can pick any color that you want. So that's probably enough. We've filled the tipper up part way. It's a fairly large tipper. I mean, it was a 55,000, I think it said. So it's like 45 or 55,000. Let's go dump it off so you can see what the dumping animation looks like. Now, and you know, I wouldn't really be traveling this fast on my farm, but to keep the video shorter, we're probably already going to be at an hour-long video for this review. Because we're going to try each thing out, so. Huh. Oh, I made it. Just skirted in there. There's our tipper. The ITRunner pieces lying all over the ground. All right. So there's the animation for dumping. Pretty simple, straightforward. No conveyor belt or anything inside this one. Whoops, wrong button. What the heck? Oh. This guy's still working. Send him home. What I meant to do was this. Well, that's cool. It beeps. Oh, I can't leave it there. There we go. And we'll pull that back up, and off we go. We're going to see if we have any manure. If not, I guess we'll just have to call that one a loss, but hold on. You know, one thing that would make the ITRunner a lot more appealing would be if you could trailer multiple ITRunners together. But you need the power takeoff from the tractor, so that's not really a possibility. But still, I mean, can you imagine how much more functional this would be if I could, like, grab one trailer with, you know, a tipper and then one with, like, a, you know, like the manure, and then drag them all down to the field where I would be using them. That would make it a lot more, you know, because I could, you know, gather, you know, the crop and then spread the manure before I go back home and do it all in one trip. To be able to trailer train these, that would be kind of like the ultimate. The ultimate. All right, so I'm going to run down to the cow farm and see if we have any manure. Hopefully we do, but I have my doubts. I think I see manure down there. Looks like we might have some manure. Now, one of the things that I like about this is that we can lower this to make it easier to dump into, so we don't have to put the bucket so high up in the air. That could be a fairly decent benefit of doing this. So once again, as I'm running this and playing with it, I'm starting to realize that there is probably more to it than I initially thought. That does give you an additional benefit, because now I don't have to put the bucket as high. So like how we were loading the skip loader before, I should have just done this. We'll set this, whoops. My left bumper is not working so good on my joystick. I might get one of those new Steam controllers. We'll see. Maybe next month. I don't have the money this month. I just spent it all on this stuff. But if I disconnect this and leave it be, and then get my tractor stuck on the fence. But let's load this guy up. This will probably take a little while. I think it's a pretty large capacity manure. One of the things I do like is it does add an extra capacity betwixt the current capacities. So, oh, there. See, look at that. See, it's lower, and then I can access it a little bit easier. Look, and it does fill up. That's cool. So there's a benefit right there. What I'm saying is this Fortis manure spreader is between the largest size and the middle size. So I like that. It's not like the same size. It just gives you another size to pick from. So now, unfortunately, it's only one size available. So as great as that sounds, it doesn't help us much. Now, I'm trying to think of where we're going to get lumber from to test the trailer, because there isn't a whole lot of lumber on this map. Trying to think of where the forestry sections are. I think there's one towards the back of the map. I'll find them before we'll take a break here, and I'll come back and we'll be. I should probably just get a big front loader and do this a lot faster. But you can see here, this is how you load it. So, like I said, I like that You know, that doing that at the sheep farm where I set, you know, we can set that down, realizing I could just leave it there and set it down and load it. That actually makes me a little bit more glad that I have this. Oh, we do have hay bales. I don't really need them. I don't need them though. But that does make this seem like it's a little more functional because it actually is easier for these front loaders to load into these trailers as opposed to, you know, having to do it while it's on top of the cart. Plus, we can just leave it there and fill it up as we need it while the ITRunner uses other things. So I don't know. It doesn't give you a huge benefit, but it does give you a small benefit. All right, I'm going to fill this up. We'll be back. All right, I didn't fill it up all the way. I'm too impatient. We're going to just run it over here on the field that we've done already. Here we go. It does what it does. It spreads manure. Whoops, no, that's not what I wanted. Hey. Pull it back on. Pull it back. All right, how do I engage it? Detach, drop off container, hire worker. Press mouse buttons. No. Oh, I have to select the unit. There we go. Say O. B. Ooh. Well, that's cool. I was working in New Jersey this week and in Trenton, New Jersey, and I passed a farmer spreading manure on his field, and oh my gosh, it stunk to high heaven. That's a pretty neat animation. Looks a little different than all of the other ones, and I like that because, you know, this game, one of the things I do appreciate about this game is that everything works a little bit differently. There's no device that works exactly the same. They're pretty good about that. Oh, look, see, so look at that, how it pushes it out. There's like that blade right there that's shoving the manure to the back of the trailer. That's really cool. Turn this off here. There we go. You can see it a little bit better. So see how it's shoving it down to the end? Oh, that's really neat. Let's see what happens when it reaches the end. It's shoving it out. Boy, I'm impressed. That's really cool. So once again, as we use this stuff, my opinion is changing about this DLC as I use it, because it does have some neat things. Once again, it's not groundbreaking. Oh, look, there it goes, and it goes all the way back. Huh, how cool is that? I really like that. Oh, it's the little things. All right, so let's move on to the next portion of the review. We're going to drop this guy off just right here. It's going to get messy. Look, it's bouncing. Stress test. Whoops, not the right one. Boop, there we go. And we'll go grab the next toy. Yeah, so the more I use it, the more I like it. And it definitely is, well, I gotta say, it's not adding new content really necessarily into the game, but it's adding cool content into the game. That you know, accounts for something. Now, I wonder, this thing probably doesn't spread slurry. Does it? Do you think it does? I guess we'll find out, huh? All right, so coming up in the next chapter of this review, we will take a look at this thingy and see if it spreads slurry. It might. It kind of looks like that slurry spigot on the back, so this thing might actually not only contain it, but it might also spread it, which would make it much more useful, because you're not only getting a containment unit, but you're also getting a spreader, and that's kind of cool. We'll find out. See you in a minute. We do have a full slurry section down here, so once again, I got to make sure I select the unit, and we should be able to just offload. There we go. We'll turn on our menu. Oh, it does. Look at that. We can turn the slurry tanker on. Wow. So not only is this a container, does it overfill? Because it considers it a tanker, but I wonder if you can... All right, so now I'm really curious. First of all, we're going to go run this a little bit to see how it looks like. Then we're going to do a test, all right? So, because I wonder if I set this down on the ground, I was thinking it was like the Grant, but I could be totally wrong on that. So this might be a little correction here that we have going on. Look at that. It does. Now, unfortunately, look how fast it empties, and that is a big problem with, and it doesn't have a real wide range either. That's a big problem with all the slurry tankers. They just, you go through slurry so fast. So it's not necessarily the most efficient way to do it. Your yellow Zunhammer is probably the best one that you can have. So I apologize. I made a mistake. I was assuming this was like the Cote slurry storage, but this is not. This is actually a slurry tanker. It actually is a spreading device. Though I wonder. Okay, so here's what we're going to try. If I drop this guy off here. And let's say we leave him here. I'm going to do that every time. I'm going to do it every time. And then I go here and we buy another one. Or any of these slurry tankers. We're just going to buy another one of these, though. Just do default color. Okay. It's interesting because they call it tanker in one place and slurry container in another place. And both of those give me the impression that it's just a tanker, but apparently it's more than a tanker, more than a container. It's actually a fertilization device. Yes, I do sing occasionally during my videos. If you're new to my channel, I apologize. I can't stop. I try really hard not to. But sometimes I have to sing. Alright, so... Oh, lordy. I need to work on my driving skills. Now, the stupid thing is, why would you do this? Because you're filling up one to fill up the other. There's really no point in doing this, but I just want to try it and see if it'll do it. Look at this. Reckless driving. Breaking his $30,000 slurry spreader. So if we look in the menu here, what do they call these? Slurry tanks. Okay, so I guess they are called slurry tanks or slurry tank. It doesn't say tanker though. That's the splitting hairs, but those kind of things, you know, they gotta be right. So let's find out here what we're dealing with. Does this have an overfill option? No. So it really is just a slurry tanker. It is not a container. I wonder why they call it slurry container. It's interesting. Well, I guess we found out. You know, if you purchase... Sorry, I got my computer moved around a little bit. I can't get to my mouse. The Garant, the Cote FRC, this has an overfill option. Also, the TSA 3000 has an overfill option. These are containers, what I would consider containers. They don't spread the slurry. They deliver it to your field. So you drive a truck over with this and refill this, or in this case, this. So you put this on the field and then come over with your ITRunner, fill this guy up, and then go back out and do some more fertilizing. So it's different than what I thought it was, and that's cool. We learned something tonight. But it doesn't work as a container. It really is a tanker, not a container. So it's interesting that they called it that, but at the same time, they can call it whatever they want. It's their product. So we're just going to leave this one here, and we're going to move on to the last function, which is logging, which there's not going to be a whole lot to pick from, but we'll do it anyway. All right, I'm getting ready to do the lumber here, and I'm realizing I went about it all cattywampus. I forgot my logging forks. But one of the things that we can do here is we'll get set up. And this is, I think I'm going to like this because, you know, one of the issues that we have in the game is that it's... Oh, good night, Evelyn. I love you. It's hard to get, you know, your forks or your arms high enough to load the trailer. So with this, we can just do this. We can set it on the ground. And pull forward, and then we'll drop this off. And I need to go pick up my log fork, but it's right here, so we don't have to go too far. And we're gonna get high production value here. Oh, missed. The other thing we're gonna do, we're gonna buy, let's see, what do we need? A weight. And we're going to need mods. The Ponzi Wolverine. All right, so we're going to run down and cut a couple trees down. What do you think? Probably I think I can get a 7 meter or 8 meter piece. Let's do 8 meters. Let's do 9 and see what that does. I think this trailer is going to be shorter. So we'll do 8 and see if that works. Come on, Artie. There we go. That's a little long, isn't it? Yeah, so I'll leave that one, but we'll change the cut length to 6, probably be safe. Well, 7. You want to keep them as long as possible, because the longer they are, the more money they're worth. So we'll grab a bunch of them and load them up. For those of you that have been watching my series, I'm getting better at running this thing. At first it was a complete disaster. Stop. Stop. Ugh, I hate when they leave those big branches. But we're just going to leave it on there for now. We'll give ourselves a decent load to work with here. And probably 1 or 2 more of these, and that'll... Looks like this thing's got a lot of capacity, so we could actually keep going with it, but I don't want to obviously take too long, because I know you guys have places to go, people to visit, farming to do, and I don't want to take up your whole night. We've probably been going for almost an hour now at least. This is going to be a long review, but there's a lot of stuff in this package, so I want to make sure we give it a thorough run through, and like I said, I'm glad so far that we've spent the time to do it, because I've learned a lot of things about this DLC that I didn't know, and I've watched people's reviews and didn't see some of the things that this thing does, even with the reviews that I watch. So hopefully we're being thorough enough that you guys can get a real idea of if this DLC is worth it or not. You know, half an hour ago, when I just started tapping into this package, I said, no, it's not worth it. But now that I've used it, I really do think that it adds some functionality to the game and really kind of gives you some cool options and makes things work a little bit better. It's definitely something that you can't get in a mod. There are no ITRunner mods because are not allowed to make copies of that stuff. They have things that are similar, but it's not the same as this. So it's really a unique thing, but I really like the fact that you can set stuff down and fill it up. One of the problems in the game when you're using the tractor front loader has always been that everything is too high, and you always have to put the arms up all the way to load it, and now you don't have to do that anymore. They've given you the opportunity to not have to put arms up so high, and I think this is going to give us an added benefit here. So this should be the last tree, and I'll go ahead and start loading this up onto our ITRunner trailer. It's probably not going to be full all the way, but at least it will, you'll get to see what it looks like partially loaded. And we're also going to try a little trick down at the logging station to see if my theory is correct, because a lot of times you pull a trailer onto the logging area and you'll see, it doesn't unload. Well, I think that this is going to fix that problem, so apologize. My kids are be put in bed by mom, and that always involves yelling at the top of her lungs. Always. Would you get that picked up? Could you? How many times do I gotta tell you to get in the bed? Do you ever see the Bill Cosby skit about wives? Like how they were when they were young and then what they look like after they've been having children for, I think it's called Brain Dead is the name of the skit. It's true. Like the faces he makes of his wife, like when she was young and beautiful, and then like how she turns into like this old ugly ogre. My wife is still very pretty, but she has her ogre moments when she's yelling at the kids. Isn't that right, Ryan? He is very funny. It's from the 70s. I know there's a lot of angst towards Bill Cosby nowadays because of all the crap that happened or came out recently, but his old stuff still is really funny. What? Well, George Carlin, Bill Cosby at least kept it clean. That's the one thing I appreciated about him. He could do things that were really funny without. George Carlin kind of relies on bad language to make his show, but he is very funny. Yeah, see, I like this already. This is easier than using the bigger carts. Any of the carts that I've used, this is way easier. Because you just don't have to get that reach up there that high. So, I'll let you stick around. We'll stick around for a couple more, keep loading, and then I'll finish uploading. You don't have to watch the whole loading procedure, but boy, it's nice. This T7 is really big. It's the first time I've used this tractor, and it's really good at doing this. It doesn't bob around like the smaller ones. Bobbing and weaving. I don't have a chainsaw, so I can't clean that off. I also like the way that the forks are, like the stanchions are pretty far apart on the trailer, so I don't feel like I'm getting tangled on them all the time. Though this pickup head is pretty small. Yeah, see, like this tractor is big enough to just pick 2 logs up without struggling, though the head is going to have a problem, it looks like. We'll lift this up. I'm going to turn this, boop. I'm going to turn this off. All right, so I'm going to finish loading this, and I'll catch up with you once it's done. But so far, it's going well. One of the things that I'm liking already is that if your logs don't set right, you always have to pull the trailers back and forth, and this thing is light enough that I can just, look at this, I can just push it around. And then it makes the log settle. And also, I'm not even halfway full with this trailer, and that was, like 3 or 4 trees worth of lumber. So this has a pretty big capacity. You could actually go with 8-foot logs. I did cut them down to 7, but now that I'm seeing how this is loading up, we could actually load 8-foot logs and not have a problem. Unfortunately, the gravity in this game is a little funky, so we may have an issue with the logs sliding out the back. In real life, I don't think logs this big would slide around that easily, but only in the farm sim, right? I may have to brake check them. You can see some of them are hanging off a little far for my liking. But like this, so the log didn't settle, so I just grab the trailer and move it back and forth till the logs settle. And there we go. Now they're settled down, though I can tip it even more, and just you gotta be careful that you don't dump the whole thing over, but there we go. And we get the logs sitting where we want them, and now they're nice and compact. I can come from the back. Now if I had my shovel, which I do actually, if this doesn't work, I can just go grab that. We can kind of push these back on a little bit. And, whoa, my left mouse button, once again, is not, or my left joystick button isn't working too well. There we go. We can just kind of shove these on there so that they're not hanging off so far in the back, but... So good. Yeah, that really works well. And it's easy to load because it's down low to the ground, so I'm not, like, struggling to get access to it. So let's see now if we can pull on a hill, going downhill. Oh, one of the things we're going to have to do, though, is drop the weight, so... So let's see on an incline if we can pull this up onto the trailer. Now, I think probably in real life, one of the things I didn't think about from a realism standpoint, I don't know that you could pull a full trailer like this up with the arm. But maybe it does have enough power to do it. Let's see if the logs slide off. Oh, I don't know. Oh, they did slide down quite a bit. So I could see you wanting to do... Ooh, well, sorry about that. I could see you wanting to do this on a flat surface instead of on an incline like that. Hopefully reducing some of the incline, because I think if this trailer was full, that would have dumped out. So be careful. But yeah, they're in there pretty good. They're not sliding around, so it might be one of those locking mechanism things that they did there. So it's my assumption that when I get down to the logging mill, and I could be totally wrong about this, but I have a feeling that tonight is going to be a good night. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I have a feeling that when I get down there, this trailer will not unload by itself. But, you know, the trick with the unloading is that you have to get the logs low enough to the ground that the sensor picks them up and devours them. I think that we're going to head down there, and I bet you what happens... Okay, now they're moving around. Oh! Brake check! They didn't move much forward, did they? Trying to get them to laterally move. I could hit a wall. That would make them all go forward. But I don't want that. We're just going to go down. They're still on there nice. Ooh. One of them is starting to really go towards the edge. Oh. Guess I probably should be a little careful around those kind of maneuvers there. I don't want to be jumping. Oh. And so... Oh, hold on a second. Alright, so I am still not to the lumber mill yet. My wife wanted to know if I finished Parks and Rec, which I did. I did finish Season 5. You know, Amazon Prime is interesting. We signed up for it by mistake. My son ordered something and then forgot to turn it off, so now we have a year of Amazon Prime. But what I don't like is that the shows... Like, you'll be in the middle of a series, and then they just don't offer it in Prime anymore, so you lose, like, half of what you've watched. You've watched all these shows, you might get to the halfway through the season, and then it's no longer available, and you have to buy it. Okay, so my prediction was correct, but instead of having to manually unload this, I'm from Ohio, I say manually and rough, we simply do this, and I can guarantee you when this goes down, yep, that is really nice. That's a really nice feature right there. So, in closing, the ITRunner, thumbs up. Like I said, when I first started using this, I thought, nah, this is stupid. It doesn't really add anything to the game. But now that I've really kind of thoroughly gone through it with you guys, my opinion's kind of changed. I feel like it is a worthwhile DLC. It does add some unique content to the game. It does do some things that the regular equipment doesn't do, especially for front loaders. I think that the strong point is for a tractor that's got a front loader on it, because the height is always an issue with the in-game equipment. So this guy allows you to put, you know, the ITRunner allows you to set your trailers down on the ground so that they're lower down, therefore making it easier for you to use a front-loading tractor to dump stuff into them, without having to extend the arm all the way up and making the tractor very tippy. Before this, you'd had to use a telehandler or a front loader to do that kind of work, but the ITRunner actually makes it easier to use your just regular old tractor without having to overextend the arm. So I think that is right there one of the reasons to look at it. Plus, you know, once again, it's a unique mod. It does add some cool things into the game, though it is expensive from a game standpoint. I think from a a DLC standpoint, $9 is not that expensive for DLC. It really is. You know, compared to some of the other DLCs that are out there for other games, it's not that expensive. But it's not cheap either at $10. So there are people out there that would go $10. Mostly teenagers probably that don't have money. And $10 can be a lot of money when you don't have any money. I understand that. So trust me, there's times when I don't have $10 to rub together. So didn't it be like it used to be like 2 nickels or 2 pennies. I don't have $5 bills I can rub together. Anyway, I do feel like it is a worthwhile mod. It's exceeded my expectations. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Be sure to subscribe. The gold pack is coming out next week. I have already pre-ordered it. Now I'm going to be in Texas for a couple days watching my son graduate from the Air Force Academy, from the Air Force boot camp. He is not going to the Air Force Academy. He is in boot camp. So we're going down to Texas to tap him out, and that'll be fun. But once I get back, which is going to be the first week of November, I will be doing a very in-depth review of the gold DLC for the Farming Simulator 15. So I will see you guys on the fields and on the byways and in the alleys and on the hilltops. Good night.